Hello, you guys. Welcome back to the Cake Radio Show. I'm the CakeDive, and today I want to talk about this Ice Spice and Cleotrapa stuff that's going on. Y'all know I love talking about the pop culture things, and like everybody's talking about this, so I want to give my thoughts as it unfolded. For me, I found out about this like the day Cleotrapa started posting videos because like I saw one of the parts pop up on my TikTok for you page, and I'm like, girl, who is she talking about? And I go through the comments, and everyone's like, ooh, like I knew Ice was like this, and I was like, oh, Ice in trouble once more. And let's tap in. Like I watched all the parts. I looked at the tweets that Ice Spice brought out. I saw the clips of her talking about it on the Twitter space. I've seen the tweets that have come out since then, and there's a lot. So basically, there's a timeline here. So obviously, we got to start with the baby Stormy stuff. The woman who I really kind of look sideways at sometimes. Baby Stormy did the like Twitter thread talking about how Ice Spice is like strange and how she like did her dirty. Um, and also laid out like posted a lot of text from Ice Spice being strange, especially with like the Nicki Minaj stuff. Which even with the Nicki Minaj stuff, like it did not seem. I still like stand by what I said in my previous episodes, in which what she said about Nicki Minaj wasn't as bad as like people were making it, as like Bart's making it out to be. It just seemed like a private conversation amongst people. Like some people, like people hate. People sometimes get frustrated by their friends and their collaborators, so they'll talk in private about those things. And what she was saying in those texts, at least from the text that I saw, were not as horrible as stuff like this situation with her and Cleotrapa. So that was something that happened. The girls was like a little bit upset and like looking at Ice Spice crazy. Ice Spice, it refused to acknowledge the Nicki Minaj stuff until like the end of her album rollout, where she like addressed it. It was like, oh, there's like no beef between us. Like those texts were like pulled out of jest. Like y'all like people were bloated out of proportion. I still respect Nicki. Da 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 da. And a few days ago, Ice Spice wrapped up her, shocking to everybody because apparently like this tour seemed to not get too much publicity. Like people, I didn't see too many people talk about it on my end, but the Y2K tour, the tour promoting Ice Spice's debut album, Y2K, had wrapped up its tour, and not too long after we wrapped up the tour, Cleotrapa posted a series of videos documenting how she was mistreated by Ice Spice and partially by her team, and those around her during the tour. She outlined that the day before the tour was supposed to start, Ice Spice reached out to Cleo, saying that she wanted her to come on the tour and perform with her. Cleotrapa was hesitant at first, but then eventually considered to perform. Um, she had one day to plan how she was going to perform and bring everything around, and Ice Spice promised that everything that Cleo needed to have covered would be covered while she was on tour. She gets on the tour and things are already starting to be weird. First of all, Cleotrapa is promoting, but is promoting that she's going to be on the tour, but Ice Spice and her team do not whatsoever promote that Cleotrapa is going to be a guest performing or opening for Ice Spice. Additionally, Cleotrapa reveals that she's going on and doing like opening performances before the showtime is supposed to start, so some people aren't even there when in time for her to perform and do her opener. Additionally, she continued to outline a series of like mistreatment that happened, like like they had to share, like at first Ice Spice and Cleo were sharing rooms, and then eventually uh Ice Spice started kicking Cleotrapa out of her room, and her team was not giving her a suitable room for her to stay in or to get changed in, and eventually she had to room and get close with Ice Spice's hairstylist, and I believe it was her nail tech as well, and that also upset Ice Spice. Additionally, there was an issue with Cleo's bags in which the security guard refused to take up Cleotrapa's bags, and Cleo brought this up to Ice Spice because, she told her that she would be taken care of, and Ice Spice felt some type of way and things started worsening throughout the rest of the tour. One of the big things that people are talking about is the fact that during their set near like Texas, in between Texas and Mexico, in like the desert, um, basically the rest of Ice Spice and her team and those who were with her at the time went out to a steakhouse, while Ice Spice, her hairstylist, and one of Ice Spice's others, not Ice Spice, while Cleo, one of Ice Spice's hairstylists, and one of Ice Spice's other team members were left in the dark and were trying to figure out, how can they get to a McDonald's so they can eat because they haven't eaten all day. There's also a situation in which Ice Spice's manager told Cleo, the hairstylist, and a few other people that they would be leaving at 9 a.m. and they stayed on the tour bus. They got on the tour bus in time, or at least what they thought was on time, and they stayed on the tour bus until 2 p.m. until they were informed that Ice Spice would not be leaving until later in the day. So they were staying on this tour bus in the desert for an extended period of time than they needed to. And additionally, Cleo continued to outline how she felt that Ice Spice was purposefully dimming her light in a very intentional way, and things started to continue coming out as things continued to happen throughout the tour. And once the tour ended, or near the tour's end, Cleo reached out to Ice Spice and tried texting her and talking about her feelings, how she felt about the situation. And in the text, Ice Spice pretty much, is very mean and is like, oh, you're selfish and you're a bum, da 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 da, you are cutting up over a hotel room, da 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 da, you're a bum, you're a bum, you're a bum, all those things. And basically Cleo aired that out, not out of anger, partially out of anger and upsetness because she went through a lot of horrible stuff on the tour, but also because she wanted to clear the air about how is Ice and Cleo's friendship, because a lot of Ice Spice's fans and a lot of Cleo's fans really liked the friendship that was established between the two. And Cleotrapa also outlined the fact that basically she felt like for the later half of the friendship, Ice Spice was using Cleotrapa for promotional sake, because she would ask her to hang out before the tour, and the times that they would hang out would be around the time that she was promoting a new song, or she would be filming a music video or doing something that would be used for a music video that she is rolling out for the album or for a song. And she felt as if and she also noted that every time they were hanging out, Ice Spice was in full makeup and stuff like that. They couldn't chill and just be like normal friends, like a person. And after that, people started talking about it. Some people started apologizing to Baby Stormy because some people questioned what Baby Stormy was saying. For me, I wasn't questioning what Baby Stormy was saying whatsoever. It's just that her as a person is also, Baby Stormy as a person is also very questionable. So I can't, I gotta look at her crazy, but I can still respect what she's saying and what she has been through. So some people started giving Baby Stormy her flowers and apologizing directly to her, which, is good. And people also started attacking and dragging Ice Spice very fairly about the situation, because they're like, girl, what is this? What's going on here? And Ice Spice, first of all, started to chose this troll. She first started doing tweets saying where should I go today? Ooh, or what should I eat today? Chicken salad or steakhouse? And that was in reference to the steakhouse that her and her team went to, without Cleotrapa, without Ice Spice's hairstylist and them, or a chicken salad, which Cleotrapa referenced as, a chicken salad that she wanted to eat when they were on tour. But Ice Spice's manager and team said explicitly that the chicken salad was not part of the budget. Cleotrapa was not a part of the budget. And then she made another tweet basically mocking and trolling Cleotrapa. And then she made another tweet saying y'all can make fun of my weight and fat shame me and body shame me, but I can't defend myself. And then she did the Twitter space in which she was she was talking about the food thing, but she didn't talk about how we were at an Italian restaurant. She was a vacuum, da 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 da. And Cleotrapa made her string of tweets basically like replying to what Ice Spice was saying, and Baby Stormy chimed in and all that type of stuff. And now we're here, and very clearly have a lot of thoughts. Basically, obviously, I feel like any normal person would stick behind Cleotrapa because Cleotrapa, one, had the receipts. She had the text messages. You look back and you see the TikToks that she did with the hairstylist, proving that like, oh, like Ice Spice was not really trying to fuck with her during the remainder of this tour. You can see in the text messages again that like Ice Spice was being very rude and very disrespectful when Cleotrapa was outlining, hey, it's like you said that these things were supposed to be happening, and I did not feel this through the tour. What happened? The fact that Ice Spice, in her response, both through the Twitter space and through these tweets, was both very mean and disrespectful to Cleo, and both did not disprove that any of this shit went down, basically confirming that this shit did go down. And like it pretty much validates the fact that like Ice Spice is not a girl's girl. And I said this in one of my previous episodes. I think I said this in like the 2 previous episodes I did on Ice Spice. Ice Spice is, I think she's full of herself a little bit too much. But she's feeling herself a little bit too much. Like she's feeling her nachos a little bit too much. Because the issue here is that for some reason I think she wants both. She wants grace extended to her, but she also wants to be, you know, hot shit. She wants to be someone who is very like a mean girl. Like she wants to be like she wants to kind of see some of Nicki Minaj's like rewards and benefits. Like she wants to move like, oh, like I'm running this shit. Like y'all girls ain't like topping me and stuff like that. And she does not have the room to do that. And that also goes against the entire brand that was established that made people like her so much before the Y2K rollout. What people liked about Ice Spice before the Y2K rollout was the fact that she presented herself like, and it's now coming out that that she isn't like this, but she presented herself as a girl's girl, and that's what people liked about her. Before she was popping off with Nicki Minaj and all that type of stuff, people liked the fact that like even though she gave praise to Nicki Minaj, she also gave praise to Cardi B, and that she had no issues between the two, and she was moving in a very calculated and smart way. They liked the fact that she was like avoiding beefs and stuff like that up until that point, and they also liked the fact that she was making music that was cute and soft and pretty. Even if it wasn't good music by any means, like she wasn't doing no cutting edge raps and stuff like that, but it was cute music that the girls liked. Now she's trying to transition into this artist that does not have a firm identity. Like I know the girls like who were supporting the album, the Y2K album, and I know I talked about this in my review of the album about how she's trying to be experimental. And the issue is that now, like, she's trying to be experimental while also trying to be like, oh, like, I'm this big artist. Like, I'm running this shit. Like, no other girls can top me. And the proof is the other girls are topping her. Like, Lotto, and those two were having, like, for some reason, they both was trying to make fetch happen. Both them and the bars were trying to make fetch happen and have them beef against each other. And it's the fact that Lotto's album that just came out, Sugar Honey Iced Tea, like performed better than it was performing better and had better praise than Ice Spice's album did. Megan Thee Stallion's album debuted number 3, and the Bobs were trying to allege that was a flop album. And then you have Ice Spice's album that debuted wherever the hell it was, and we just was like, oh, like everyone, like some people were like, ooh, like she's a flop, like what happened here, and others was like, oh, well, it's not that bad, da 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 da. And I personally don't think that charting was bad. But for me, it's the fact that, like, you still have to be humble within yourself. Like, you still have to be a good person, especially because the fact that, like, you're new. Like, it'll be one thing if you're, like, a artist whose reputation precedes themselves. And it's different when you're, like, a new artist and you're moving around. Like, your reputation precedes yourself. Like, I'm so sorry to Ice Spice, but, like, you can't be moving around like you're hot shit. Like, you did not drop the song, think you the shit, parentheses, fart. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, you cannot move in that way because you don't have the floor like that. Like, I'm so sorry to her, but, like, she does not have the room to be moving in this way. And the fact that, like, not only has like, it also is a bad look on her because this whole situation is a bad look on her because not even just this situation, but the previous situations that have gotten her in trouble make her look like a really bad person, and it's also gonna fuck up her like PR and reputation because not only have you fallen out with one of the most controversial yet successful female rap artist out there, Nicki Minaj, but you've also picked beefs with and moved very weirdly around some of the biggest and most successful up and coming or like fairly new rappers that are hitting the game in the female rap game who you should be collaborating with. And you've also turned around and ruined the friendships of two dark skinned women. Both of them are artists, and both of them having various levels of respect. And Cleotrapa is one of those artists who has a fairly amount of respect. Like the girls be trying to talk. Like I've been seeing some of the Ice Spice fans try to like downplay Cleotrapa's success, but like Cleotrapa is an artist who is beloved. Like while she's not like charting or anything like that, she like the girls like Cleotrapa, even both for like the music and also because of like the memes and stuff like that. Like people, like some people are forgetting that like that woman is like smart branding and that woman is very successful. Like we can't forget that like some of the memes that she is putting out, like the ooh, like that was too good. Let's get the bill per like that was Cleotrapa. Like she is known for some very successful memes and she has some really good fucking songs. So the girls trying to downplay her, it's giving colorism. Just like how Ice Spice is being very weird to these dark skinned black women. Um can Ice Spice get out of this situation? Maybe. I feel like she's been able to get around the Nicki Minaj stuff fairly easily, and like some of the other, like some of the idol stuff fairly easily. And I feel like people are going to talk about this for a minute, and then like it's just going to be that because once some people are going to be like, oh, like how long are you going to talk about this? Because colorism began to exist. So some people are going to like question why people are going to continue to go hard for like Cleotrapa, who is this dark skinned artist. But I think this is still going to be something that's going to follow Ice Spice through the rest of her career, because the thing now is like it's not like it's not like a what's the word? This is not a contained incident now, because it would be one thing if this was like one situation that happened and Ice Spice came forward and was like, oh, like none of that stuff was true, like I treated Cleo with like a lot of love, or there was a PR statement and it just kind of stopped at that. But it's the fact that multiple people have come forward talking about Ice Spice, or multiple people have cut ties with Ice Spice, and she herself is also moving in a very weird way that is going to have this follow her, and it's going to continue to impact the fall of her career, because I feel like the girls are just not going to root for her, because it's like the fans liked her because like she was making cute music and that she was giving girls girl and that she was giving sweet vibes. Now that she's like trying to be a mean girl, which is not cute, she got like so many different controversies ahead of her, and the music is not that good and it's not charting as well as people wanted it to. People are probably gonna throw her away if she doesn't like work on herself and change this narrative. And then the other thing I need to do, I need to circle back to the tweet that she was, like, one of her response tweets, Ice Spice's response tweets, and when she was talking about, like, oh, like, you guys can body shame me, and like, it's okay, but, like, I can't defend myself. I'm, like, y'all be forgetting that I'm a person at the end of the day. The biggest issue with that is the fact that, like, you can't throw rocks and hide your hand. Like, you can't, like, the thing is, like, her heart is not in it to be a mean girl, and that's the problem, because mean girls can be like, the thing about like real mean girls and people who want to be mean girls is that mean girls know that they mean as fuck and don't give a fuck. Ice Spice wants to be a mean girl, but her heart is not in it because she is not confident in herself to do that. And again, she does not have the room to be a mean girl, because the truth of the matter is, if like when it's a mean girl, like if you like, most mean girls will be like, oh yeah, like girl yes, like fuck Cleo, like let me keep trolling her and da 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 da, and not and like completely ignore the like the girls that are like dragging her and stuff like that, or like they give off the vibe that they don't care because they really don't care. And then, but with Ice Spice, it's the fact that she has commented and like responded to people talking about her body and body shaming, which one reveal like it reveals to the audience that like Ice Spice is very online and is very much paying attention to what fans and haters are saying about her, which is encouraging people to say more hateful things about her. Like, don't get me wrong, the body shaming is gross, especially because of the fact that she's young. Like, girl, like our bodies be changing like quick. Like, I don't really think that she on no Ozempic or nothing. Like, the girls be trying to suggest that she's on Ozempic. I think that's a little bit crazy. I know all the celebrities be on Ozempic, but like, I don't think she's on Ozempic like that. Like, I think that something. I think she's like. I feel like it might be some dieting or some like ED or like something that's going on. No shade, allegedly. Like, I don't think it's Ozempic because the girls be trying to slap Ozempic on anything. Even with the body shaming stuff, which again I still feel like don't get me wrong, I think that shit is gross. I think people should chill out on that because again, you're commenting on somebody's body and that's just like unacceptable. But it's the fact that like you can't say like, oh, like I can't, like, y'all can do this situation and be fine with it, but I can't like defend myself. And the thing about like her defending herself is she didn't really defend herself. Like, she was just trolling this woman and being mean back to this woman instead of acknowledging like, hey, yes, I did do these things, I did fuck up, or hey, yes, I did do these things, but I don't care because this, like, she's not standing on nothing. She's not standing on anything. So like, what are we supposed to do? Like, that's the thing. Like, what are we supposed to do about this here? What exactly are we supposed to do here, Ice? But that's my thoughts. I think Cleo will be fine. I wish Cleotrapa like nothing but success and nothing but love because I know that she went through a lot of fucking shit with that tour. But I wish her nothing but love and nothing but success. Her music be cute too. Y'all stream her music, first of all. But I wish her nothing but love. Baby Storm, I know I talked about you a little bit in this episode, and I know I talked about her in like some of my previous episodes. But, you know, what she was saying about Ice is true. So I can give her that. I still think she's a little bit weird as a person and that she moves very weird. And she got a little bit of psychosis going on. But that does not deny that the proof is in the pudding about Ice. And Ice Spice, baby, you need to get this shit together. Because you about to derail your career. You said in an interview, again, I treat the girls with a lot of respect, and I also will pull on your wigs equally. You said in an interview years ago that you were here in this, you wanted to do this rap shit for the long haul. You wanted to do this rap shit for the long haul. You wanted to be here for a long time, not a short time, not a fun time. What you are doing in this moment and the things that you will do after this may very well close the book on your career only a year or two after it has begun and really popped off. You have to remember the fact that you skirted past the grind, as Cleotrapa said. You skirted past the moves that you need to have and the hard work that you have to do in order to earn the success and the flowers that you are getting. And that's not to deny your success by any means, but that's just the truth of the matter. So the fact that you are moving in a way that is putting other artists down in a way that is disgraceful and unacceptable and inappropriate is awful. And if you want to continue to have a successful career, you need a rebrand, bitch. You need a rebrand, sis, because this is going to follow you for the rest of your career. And that's my thoughts on that. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Cake Radio Show. I do drop these episodes both on YouTube and on your major favorite podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the whole 9 yards. We drop episodes first on YouTube and next day on podcast platforms, or whenever I can get them on podcast platforms, because sometimes they have issues. But if you guys like this episode, be sure to like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. Be sure to follow on your favorite podcast platforms and give the show a great rating. And if you're watching this on YouTube, drop this in the comments. Like, what do you think about the whole situation? Can Ice Spice move past this? Like, is Cleotrapa up? Because I think she's going to be up from this. Like, she already been up, but I think she's going to move up continually after this as well. But yeah, what are your thoughts? Let's keep it civil. Like, y'all know I don't be I don't really be reading the comments like that unless like the conversation be cute. So like y'all hop on, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye bye.